probably rotates because my ears are bad in my right side.
Really?
Elvis,
What?
speed headset, I swear to God. Nice.
Man, I wonder why there's so much warmth coming from the Wi-Fi
Yes,
antenna.
nice, very nice. And I can't hear you because I'm like.
Why there's so
connected to
much
my
heat
house.
coming from the Wi-Fi antenna in here? Oh wow, I think it's because I'm in a good live stream.
Give me one, please.
No! These are the school charges $10 for one of these. They're so expensive here. And you know that. Don't you love those headphones? Here, just could have gotten Hershey's bar,
Thank you.
but this is probably my healthier.
Bro,
What the heck?
what is that?
Wait, is that on the chair? Wait, like this.
See, Clark James is a Sony phone. It's an Android phone. He hates iPhones. Like a real man. Yeah.
What'd you say about iPhones?
Android are better.
Android is indeed better.
Yes.
And like, I can't hear you right now because like I'm listening to metal. Or what?
Metal is an object.
Yeah. The only thing the problem about headphones is that they're so loud. I heard people can hear.
Yeah, the headphone jack connector you don't have is you have a newer iPhone. Is a quarter inch. Just use an adapter for that. And you're good to go. And it's a lot healthier for you. Apple loves giving people AirPods, which is not healthy for you at all. Let me go to my seat.
Don't judge the headphones. I'm just borrowing. Well, that's my piece. Oh God. That's so boring.
Is it on that spot? Look how much cool. Yeah, for each one. Pretty decent job.
Left eye, right eye.
While you're late, you know you're 5 minutes late, right?
Hey, Charles
I am.
Muhammad.
No.
Charles Muhammad.
Oh, why is your computer so greasy?
Hey.
Go get
See
a
how
napkin.
See how
bro.
my webcam light is on?
Us-
Notice that?
Are you recording?
I'm live streaming.
In school?
Hey, I'll show you.
This is really live stream.
All right.
Yeah.
What is the point of life?
Alrighty,
I can show
everybody,
you.
please go and make an account at Scratch if you haven't already. And then once you make your account, you're gonna get to I'm gonna make a new account.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's away. Headphone.
WLB19. Scratch.mit.edu.
Join Scratch.
If you're making an account right now, you should remember
What?
that it's gonna send you an email. School, put all your school information. Use your school account.
I saw that you.
And I'll meet everybody right here after you make your accounts at the My Stuff screen.
Thank you.
2005. I'm typing a really long password.
Again, I'm at scratch.mit.edu. Scratch.mit.edu.
What do we do for?
What's wrong, kiddo? You
Wait,
gotta make an account.
no, for, do we actually put in parents or guardians' email address?
Put your school email address.
It says parents.
Wait. Just use the beginning of your name, like not at the end, 207. You may need to change the birthday, but you'll be able to use it either way. They're gonna have to approve it. It's fine. Sending an email, what that email is doing, why don't you like the big computer? Your username, so whatever your school username is. Don't use do you have an account? Okay, they'll pick one that you'll remember. Scratch.mit.edu. And like that. Make Scratch down. So. Scratch.mit.edu.
You got, so just put in a,
Put it mine, my school. My school email.
yeah, just put in your school email.
Good. I didn't.
Nice job.
Hey, Charles, will you finish that as quickly as possible? In the future, drinking here is not a problem. Drink something that's got, or both of you, drink something that's got a cap. Buy something with a cap, or put those on the back table over there so they're not going to get confused. Perfect. Okay. So you don't need to chuck it, you can put it on the table, away from the computer. Scott, if you're gonna drink in here, something with a cap. All right, let's get started. today what we're gonna do is how many of you have used Scratch before and are comfortable with it? Nice, this will be a little bit slow, but I gotta start someplace and then it ramps up quickly. So the other thing is, some of you are gonna be easily distracted, be like, oh, I wanna see what this does. You're gonna get plenty of time to play with it, but I'd like to just introduce some very simple concepts. So if you're gonna get distracted and like click on other things, that's fine. But if you start to ask me questions tomorrow about stuff we covered today, I'm gonna know you didn't listen. Now, everybody sees how I'm at my Stuff screen? Everybody please click New Project. So in the New Project, you see where it says Untitled at the very top?
Where'd we go?
New Project.
And then go to my stuff.
So I went to My Stuff and then I clicked on New Project.
Okay.
My Stuff,
Where's new project?
Oh, I see.
New Project. My Stuff is the little envelope, is a little folder looking thing by your username.
What's this?
You made your own.
Oh, this is
So
blocking.
we're calling this moving. And the reason we're calling this moving is we're just going to go through the basics of moving today so that we understand how to control our character. Because there's three ways really to move. There's key press, there's mouse follow, and there's free floating. Free floating is when it moves all by itself, right? Mouse press or key press is when we press a key and they move. And following our mouse is when it chases our mouse around. So let's take a look on the left-hand side here. You see how it says motion, looks, sound, events, control, sensing, operators, variables, and my blocks. These are the basic controls that we have. Now, on top of these, if you see at the bottom of that column there, you see the line with the plus sign? Click on it. These are all the additional libraries we can add. They're not directly in there, but they're additional libraries that we can add that provide content. So to show how you add one, everybody double click on the one that says pen. And you'll notice now that you get a bunch of pen tools. And this is just like any coding environment. Every coding environment has additional libraries. They don't put them all in, but they make them available to you. Now, can everybody please click on events? On events, do you see the green flag? Grab a green flag, click on motion. And just grab 10. And you'll see every time you hit your green flag, it moves. Awesome. Now, if you have already added an extra sprite, that's fine. But I wouldn't let that get in the way. You can also just right click on that sprite to delete it. Now you'll notice on the right-hand side, you have this stage. That's where all your code will happen. And then any sprites that we add will be in this bottom section here where we already have one sprite. And then any backdrops we have, which is this white screen that our stage is, will show up right here. And we can edit all of them. We'll get to it in time. Now everybody please go to control. In control, you'll see a lot of things that are useful. If statements, forevers, repeat until, stop. But we're going to grab a forever, and we're going to take that move, and we're going to put it in there like that. Now, one of the things we always want to do when we want to make it look as realistic as possible. So we're going to go to looks, and we're going to grab the next costume. And now when we hit the green flag, it looks like he's running into the wall, which I know many of you have done before. So we're going to make our first decision sequence, which is we need to do something when we hit the wall, right? We don't want to just hit the wall. Hitting the wall's bad. What do we want to do? Turn around. Perfect. So go back up to motion. And what you'll notice about, I don't know, 80% of the way down toward the bottom, if on edge bounce. Yeah. Oh, hi. Oh, he wants to talk to you anyway. Now, we have a problem, right? What's the problem? Well, it flips, right?
I'll click.
So everybody, if you take a look in this motion, do you see where it says set rotation style? At the very top, let's set the rotation style so they don't rotate. Well, that's not really what we meant. What we really meant was left to right. What we don't want to do is circle. Now I highlight this because this is sequence of events. We have our event. We always set a rotation style. It's going to be moving. It's always going to be switching. And anytime it senses touching the edge, it's going to do that. In the world of coding, this is a full program. It's got an event. It's got a loop. Guys, can we put our phones away, please? It's got a loop, and it's got an if statement. Now, this is free movement. I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to go to events. I'm going to grab a when space pressed. But if you drop this down, you'll notice it's any key. But we're going to use the space. And now we're going to talk about our second type of movement, which is when we tell it to go to our mouse pointer. So watch, I'm going to hit start. Oh, I hit that. When I hit space, it goes to my mouse pointer. Now it's not following me around endlessly. I have to hit space to get it to come to me. How would I make it follow me endlessly? What control object would I add in? Look at our other set of code already. Right. If I want it to forever stay on my mouse, now it forever stays on my mouse. That is a second type of movement, where you hold things with your mouse. We do it all the time. You click down and hold something, you pull it, it's attaching to your mouse. Now, could everybody please do me a favor? Everybody see in the bottom where it says choose a sprite? In a little sprite column, see where I am? Click on that. And let's add an apple. So you can tell that I'm on the apple sprite because I have a box around that one. What happened to all my code?
It's on your sprite one.
It's on the other sprite. Now here's something that's easy to do, but kids get confused by for some reason. So you'll notice I have all this code in here. Let's say I want to move code between sprites. All I have to do is grab the code I want to move and drop it on the sprite I want to put it in. Now you'll notice that that's in the apple. So you don't need to rewrite code all the time. You can copy it. And now I can go to the cat and throw it away. So now I do that, and then I do this, and now I can make a chase game. Except that the cat stopped doing a great job of chasing, just going back and forth. Now, everybody click on their cat. Go back to motion. And we're going to tell the cat to point towards forever our apple. Now you'll notice, now he chases the apple. He's very healthy. So in the apple, I have this really simple code. In the cat, I have this really simple code. Now the cat's moving independently, and the apple's moving by following the mouse. There's the apple code. It was in my cat, but then I dragged it onto my apple. Here's my cat code. So let's make it a little bit more interesting though. So everybody go back to events, grab another green flag. We're going to do some parallel programming. Grab an if statement. From control, go to sensing. The very top, you'll see this word touching. Drop it in there. Drop it down and pick apple. So if I'm sensing touching the apple, which might look like this in regular code, it would look like this. If cat.x equals apple.x and cat.y equals apple.y, then. It might also look like if cat.pos equals apple.pos. Depends on the language. Somehow or another, though, the two positions are overlapping. So if we believe, because just so you know, in every video game, I'll use Counter-Strike. When you shoot in Counter-Strike, your character that you're shooting at is in a rectangle. The projectile that you're shooting at is in a rectangle, and it's moving on an angle toward. Which is why sometimes you're like, that wasn't even close to me, and I lost points or I lost health. Because sometimes the rectangles can collide even though the objects did not. Because very few games use pixel-to-pixel collision. Instead, what they use is rectangular collision, because it takes up a lot less memory and it takes up a lot less bandwidth. So those games you play online, sometimes that happens. Now, we have to make a decision. If touching the apple, let's tell the, if touching the apple, please go to control. To events and go to broadcast. And put a broadcast in there. And you're going to make a new message and say hi. So right now we have a cat and we have an apple. The cat, in this cat code, we have if touching apple. Now before we even go any further, why will this code not work? Or when will this code work only? So stop playing your games for me and please look, this is very important. When I hit the green flag right now, is the cat touching the apple?
No.
And do I ever tell it to check again? No. So because I don't have that in a forever, as you know, this is a common problem, right? Where kids write the code like, well, it's not working. Well, actually it worked perfect. That wasn't true when you did it. If you wanted to always be checking, you have to have it in a forever. Yes. Oh, you're not asking us, you're stretching. Now, I don't want the cat to hide, I want the apple to hide, and that's why we used a broadcast. Click on apple. When I receive hide, looks, hide. Control, wait, 2 seconds, back to looks, show. Now, not only should I broadcast hide, I should also go into motion here and tell the cat to go to -100, +200. I don't know why the cat's not going where I told him to go. It's touching the apple. I'm gonna make them show real quick, sorry. Show. Make that go away. Put that there, let's see. So you have your hiding, your cat. Oh, I know why. I have the wrong broadcast. Yeah, it should be this broadcast. So now, so we're almost done playing around with this, but basically now what you have is you have a really easy, whoops, although hard for me to win, show. As soon as he touches it, the apple goes away, and then it comes back a little bit, and then it goes away. So now it's tracking my mouse, but every time he touches it, it hides for a bit. For 2 seconds to be exact. I struggle to win this game. Now all we did here was introduce how to judge if something's happening, how to move the cat on its own, how to make the cat move around, and how to make the apple follow us. Now I said there was one last way to control movement though. Can everybody please go to their apple? Let's grab a green flag. Let's grab a forever. And let's grab 4 if statements. So I have a green flag. So when the program starts, this is going to happen. I'm not going to use the space bar. I have a green flag. Go away. And now I'm going to go to sensing. And do you see where it says key space? I'm going to drag that into each one of these. And I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to pick up arrow, down arrow, right arrow, left arrow. So this is another method of moving our character. If you go now into motion, you will see that you have this thing called point in direction. So when you want to go up, you want to point up. And then you want to move. When you want to go down, you want to point. Down. And then. And I think you get the idea. So do left and right as well. Now, if you put yours like this, do you see how I have an if inside this if? Then you'll never be able to go down. Because this if says only go down when you go up. This is evaluating each one independently. Point in direction, to the right, and I'm going to point direction one more time, to the left, move 10. And now on my green flag, well, except I can't move fast enough. So I'm not going to hide anymore. Because I can't move fast enough. So I won't broadcast hide. I'll say I'm touching that apple. Now the cat's always just going away. And that cat's doing a really good job of winning. If I want to be better at this game, I could slow the cat down significantly. I could also shrink the cat. Everybody go to looks in your cat, set size outside of your loop to 50%. Now when I restarted, the cat's super small. Now it's easier to win. I didn't make the apple any bigger. You could, but then the cat's always going to win. I could say at start, set size to 300%. All right. So You could also set the speed, absolutely. You could also set a variable for speed. You could also, there's a lot of things you could do. Everybody right here where it says tutorials. So there's a really simple chase game that they have in here. And what I'd like you to do, because it just goes through a lot of the basics, it uses these arrow keys as instead. The only reason I didn't do that here was because I knew it was going to be here. I don't like them as much either. But we're just gonna make this quick game to introduce a couple concepts, and then we're gonna pick up from there when we keep building on Friday. But if you guys could all go make that game, for some of you it'll take 2 minutes, then you can play the rest of the time. For some of you it'll take the whole time. But again, how'd I get here? I went File, New Project, Tutorials, Chase Game. And just build what it shows you, please. Even if you know you can do it in 2 seconds, just build it in 2 seconds. It's going to introduce another concept called a variable to you. Yes. Yes. File. New. Tutorials. This one. Thank you. All you gotta do is follow the directions. This tutorial basically just reinforces some things I said in a different way. It goes a little bit slower. You can go at your own pace. What are we building? After you get it to work from their tutorial, Ariel, see if you can add in a couple other objects. Yes. Yes. And I know for some of you, like, when's a more complex code coming? Remember, I gotta assume that people don't know, but if you know a lot about code already, find me outside of here, and I just need to get some information from you, and I'll be able to give you work. So if you've already taken AP, CSPA, tell me. I don't know. I don't look at your calendar. Whose parents are coming tonight? Nice, it is tonight. I'm excited. I think it's supposed to be your parents. I've already met you. I think the deans can help you with that.
What?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4 hours if you want. They let you stay the whole time, right? You guys got your open beverages on the table. Like the brown table. Thank you. Yeah. Who? Touches your screen. I would tell you to get one with a cap in the future and not to do that. Because if it's got a cap, you can use like. It's a lot of work. Like I said, I think it's a lot of work. because I need everyone to have this built. You can move on and play around with other stuff once you have a build. I just need to know that you can build it. Because it introduces a variable. So once you're done, you can go play other stuff in there. Like if you want to look at other programs or you want to start building your other something on your own, feel free. But I do want everyone to make sure that this gets built.
My name is. I have 20 years' experience implementing information security measures and can report that I've successfully.
All right. So everybody was able to make that simple game? Yeah. Introduced an easy variable? Okay, can I get everyone to start a new program? Yep. And this one, let's call it catch the ball. Let's delete out the cat. We're gonna add 2 new sprites. Please add baseball. And please add the arrow. Those are the 2 sprites. Arrow and a baseball. Okay, how about that? No. Now I need you to click on arrow. I want to highlight across the top. You see code, costume, sound? Click on code. We don't need left, we don't need right, we don't need down, we just need up.
You mean costume?
Costume, yeah, what I said. Oh. Sorry. You see code, costume, sound. click on costumes, thank you. We just need the up arrow. Delete the other ones. You just hit the little box next to it. All right. Now click on the baseball. Now, another thing I need to do, I need you to click on backdrop. See it says add a backdrop? We need to click on that. We need to go to the very bottom, and the third one in is the XY grid. And now when I click on backdrops, if I click on them, you can see I have my XY grid, and then I have this blank one. I'm going to delete the blank one, so it just looks like this. We're not adding a sprite, we're adding a backdrop. So you got to make sure that we're on the backdrop ad, not the sprite ad. How do I get there again? Look at my screen. If you look at my screen right here, all the way to the far right, choose a backdrop. I did that, and I went down to the very bottom, and I chose the third one in the XY grid. Now, why do I want to do that? Because I want you to understand that everything on our screen is either negative 240 on the left, positive 240 on the right, positive 180 on the top, and negative 180 on the bottom. So if we want to position up to move all over the screen, we need to know our screen's dimensions. Yes. Is it time? Sure. Now, click on your baseball. Go back to code. Go to event, green flag. Go to control, forever.
We lost our way.
Oh my gosh.